You weren't just larger than life in the ring, you were my hero, my anchor, my dad. These are the words Brooke Hogan shared through tears as she paid tribute to her late father. The WWE legend, Hulk Hogan, who passed away on July 24th, 2025. At the age of 71, though millions knew him as the muscle-bound icon of professional wrestling, to Brooke, he was simply Dad, the man who taught her to be strong, to fight for what she believed in, and to love without condition, as the world grieved the loss of one of the most recognizable figures in pop culture history. Brooke stepped forward with a tribute that peeled back the public persona and revealed the softer, deeply human side of the man behind the bandana and the 24-inch pythons. Brooke Hogan, now 37, shared her thoughts in a moving speech during her father's private funeral service in Clearwater, Florida. Her voice cracked, yet remained strong. As she spoke of her father's final days, how even in pain, he was full of pride, humor, and warmth. There's so much people never got to see, she said. The quiet mornings at home, him cheering me on at school plays, making me laugh when I thought the world was ending. He was always there. Always. She recalled moments when her father's fame took a back seat to his role as a parent, driving her to auditions, comforting her after heartbreaks, reminding her constantly that family mattered more than fame. Though fans worshipped Hulk Hogan, as a wrestling deity, a 12-time world champion, the face of WrestleMania, the symbol of 80s sports entertainment, Brooke's tribute focused on the man behind the belt. He never let me forget that being strong didn't mean being loud. It meant being kind, she said. My dad lived big, but his heart was even bigger than his legacy. Brooke remembered his gentle side, how he loved animals, how he wrote notes and hid them in her luggage when she traveled, how he would call just to say he missed her voice. Those quiet gestures, she said, were what made him a hero in her eyes. The Hogan family has long been in the spotlight. It's often for public highs and deeply personal lows. But in her eulogy, Brooke spoke of reconciliation, unity, and love. He wasn't perfect. None of us are, but he worked hard every day to be better. And in the end, all that matters is love, and he gave us that in abundance. The service, attended by close friends, family, and several of Hulk Hogan's wrestling peers, was filled with both solemn reflection and roaring applause as video tributes played of his most iconic moments. But when Brooke stood to speak, the room fell into silence. Many described her words as the most powerful part of the Dana because they were filled with grandeur, but because they were honest, raw, and full of the kind of vulnerability that few dare to share publicly. In her tribute, Brooke also shared the last conversation she had with her father. He squeezed my hand and said, "I'm proud of you, kid. Always have been. I didn't know it would be the last time I'd hear his voice, but I felt peace. Like he was handing me the torch not of fame, but of love." She promised to honor him not through performance, but through purpose. "I'll keep your stories alive, Dad. I'll play your favorite songs, laugh at your bad jokes, and be the light you taught me to be." Hulk Hogan's net worth, his championships, his Hollywood appearances all faded in importance compared to the impact he had as a father. Brooke's tribute captured this. Truth eloquently, he made me believe in myself when I didn't even like myself. He taught me to walk with my head high, even when I was breaking inside. He showed me what resilience looks like, not in the ring, but in real life. In the days following the funeral, Brooke shared a childhood photo of her and her dad on Instagram, captioned with just 3 words, "My first hero." Thousands of fans responded, offering messages of love, condolences, and memories of their own. As the sun sets on the era of Hulkamania, it's not the roaring chants of stadiums or the millions of fans across the globe that echoed the loudest teats, the quiet, trembling voice of a daughter mourning her hero. Brooke Hogan, in a moment of unimaginable grief, offered a tribute to her late father that captured not only the man the world knew, but the soul only she knew. The world saw Hulk Hogan as the titan of professional wrestling, a showman in yellow, and Reed, a larger-than-life figure whose charisma knew no bounds. But Brooke saw him first and foremost as Dad. Her tribute didn't come from a place of celebrity, came from a place of unconditional love. of memories made not under spotlights but under the quiet warmth of family dinners, car rides and life lessons whispered in between fame's chaos. He was my forever champion, Brooke said through tears at the private memorial. And in that simple phrase, the world paused. Because to be someone's champion is not just to win matches, it's to show up time and again in life's hardest rounds. And Hulk Hogan, despite all his public battles, was undefeated in the eyes of his daughter. No camera could capture the weight of that loss. At the funeral, held in a Florida chapel lined with candles and tributes from around the world, Brooke stood with grace that mirrored her father's strength. She wore a simple black dress knot, the kind meant for television appearances or red carpets, but for heartbreak. Her hands trembled as she placed a handwritten letter inside her father's casket, folded tightly, sealed with tears. In that letter, Brooke is said to have written about their inside jokes, about how her father would calm her nerves before her first music auditions, and how even during the stormiest chapters of their family's journey, his presence was her anchor. When the world judged you, she wrote, I still saw you, my dad, the man who carried me on his shoulders and taught me how to be fearless. Behind the bold persona of Hulk Hogan was Terry Ballia, the man who worried over school grades, who sang off-key lullabies, and who once canceled an entire tour to be home for Brooke's graduation. These are the stories that never made headlines. But in Brooke's heart, they are the only headlines that mattered. Brooke's tribute also shone a light on the quieter, more human side of a man so often wrapped in myth. She shared stories of their beach walks, of how he'd pick up seashells and hand them to her like they were gold. Every shell had a lesson, she recalled. We'd say, see how broken this one is? Still beautiful. That's people too. These stories, intimate and gentle, pulled back the curtain on the real Hogan. He wasn't just flexing an airiness. He was comforting his children in hospitals, teaching them about integrity and trying often imperfectly to be the rock they needed. Brooke revealed that in his final days, even as illness began to steal his physical strength, his concern was still for others. He worried if we'd be okay without him, she said, voice cracking. He didn't fear death. He feared leaving us with pain. Hulk Hogan's net worth may have been vast, but the real inheritance he left behind was immeasurable. Strength, perseverance, forgiveness, and most of all, love. In her speech, Brooke described watching fans cry at his Walk of Fame ceremony, remembering how little boys dressed up like him for Halloween, and how veterans and cancer survivors would write letters saying his story helped them fight harder. He didn't just entertain, he empowered, she said. And now, in his absence, we must carry that torch. She vowed to continue using her platform to honor her father's spirit, not through grand spectacles, but through small acts of kindness, charity, and truth, he told me. Always fight for people, not for show, for real. The final moment of the memorial was perhaps the most heartbreaking. As the casket was lowered, Brooke reached out, her hand trembling, and whispered something the cameras couldn't pick up. Later, a family friend shared what she had said. I love you, Dad. Tell heaven I said hi. Those 6 words encapsulated a lifetime of love, grief, and farewell. And for fans across the world, it was a reminder that even legends bleed. Even heroes leave behind children who must learn to walk without their guiding hand. The crowd left. That day in silence, not the silence of emptiness, but of reverence. Hulk Hogan had departed the ring for the final time. But in Brooke's eyes, and in the hearts of millions, he left as he always had, fists raised, heart wide open, and forever undefeated in the things that truly matter. Brooke Hogan didn't just mourn a father, she immortalized him. In that tearful tribute, she gave voice to what so many daughters feel but can't say. Her words will echo in the halls of wrestling history, not because they praised a legend, but because they honored a man. The ring is silent now. The crowds are gone, she said in her final line. But in my heart, the roar of your love will never stop. And so, in grief, in memory, in love, Hulk Hogan remains what he always was to his daughter, her forever champion.